Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are watching a chess classic that was played in 1984 between Anatoly Karpov, who was playing with white, and Garry Kasparov, who was playing with black. This game was one of games in the World Championship Series, and this game really showcases how you should play against the Imanov version of the Sicilian Defense. A truly wonderful game if you're learning chess, and a truly wonderful game if you're just a fan of chess and you just enjoy beautiful positions, and this game won't disappoint you, I'm sure. So without further ado, we will go straight into the game. Karpov opened the game with e4, Kasparov replied with c5, knight f3, and e6 was played for Garry Kasparov. So we are in French variation of the Sicilian Defense for now. d4 was played usually in these positions, and after c takes on d4, knight takes on d4, and knight c6 was played for Garry Kasparov. Pretty much usual. Black wants to trade this knight. If white is simply to trade, this is not good for white because black would have the control of the center and he could just play d5 and he would be really satisfied with that. Of course, this wasn't played. Karpov decided to play knight b5 with the idea to put this knight here and destroy the black's position, with simple idea that black would now be forced to trade his bishop for this knight. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you will simply ruin your castle, and this is not good, especially in the World Championship match. So, for example, if you decide to play something like a6, now after this, white will have a bishop pair, and this is a really pleasant position for white to play. That is why after knight b5, Kasparov didn't want to allow this, and he played d6. Position is now completely equal, and Karpov now plays a c4. Karpov's idea is simple. He doesn't want to allow a d5 pawn break, and also if you decide to play a6 after knight returns to c3, you cannot play b5, which is a really common theme in Sicilian Defense. So that's the idea behind c4. Kasparov continues the game with knight f6, and now knight 1 to c3 was played for Anatoly Karpov, developing his light piece. a6 was played, and right now Karpov decided to play knight a3. Karpov's idea is to later in the game has this maneuver on c2 with this knight, then on e3, which is a pretty common. Of course, not for now, but in the future he will be able to do that. So Kasparov continues with bishop e7, developing his piece. Bishop e2 was played for Anatoly Karpov, and now Kasparov castles. Karpov do that as well, and now b6 was played for black in this position. Black simply wants to control even more center and take away this space and this space from the white as well. So our game continued with bishop e3. Karpov develops his piece and also aims at this pawn, and now the best move for black, which was played in the game, was bishop b7, developing his last undeveloped piece by Kasparov, and now queen b3 was played for Anatoly Karpov with the idea to take this pawn. Kasparov says, okay, I will play knight a5, and after queen picks up on b6, knight picks up on e4, so this was actually not a free pawn, of course. Kasparov wanted to enter this trade with the idea to gain this pawn in the center. His idea that these central pawns will be stronger than this pawn on the side. So after this, another trade happened. Knight takes on e4, bishop picks up on e4, and right now queens are also traded. And after bishop picks on d8, rook a to d1 was played for Anatoly Karpov. For now, Karpov is doing a little bit better because his pieces are put a little bit, his pieces are a little more active. As you can see, these two bishops are really well placed, and also already Karpov gained an attack on this pawn here. That is why Kasparov wants to reply. He decided to temporarily sacrifice this pawn with d5. After f3, bishop f5 was forced, c takes on d5, e takes on d5, and after rook picking up on d5, bishop e6 was played for Garry Kasparov with the idea that after you move this rook back, this pawn will fall, so it's a temporary sacrifice, and Kasparov was thinking that this was a better position to play in as black, so that's the idea why this thing happened in the center. Now the game is still pretty equal. After rook d6 was played, bishop picks up on a2, and right now Karpov picks up this pawn on a6. Of course, it's only temporarily because Kasparov continues with rook b8 right now, aiming at this weak pawn. Karpov continues the game with bishop c5. You cannot take this pawn immediately. This rook is under attack, so you have to move it somewhere. Rook e8 was played for Garry Kasparov. Right now this bishop is under attack, so Karpov is thinking and he plays bishop b5, which is completely logical move in this position. Simply you develop your piece and you're attacking this rook again. Already now black is doing a little bit worse, still completely playable position. Rook e6 was played for Garry Kasparov with the idea to trade these rooks and at least try and continue the game with developing this bishop, because for now this 8th rank is really weak. King has no escape squares and this bishop is really passive, so Kasparov wants to ease the tension a little bit and try and draw as black. So for now Karpov doesn't want to trade and he plays b4, invites Garry to trade if he wants to, because this bishop pair is really strong, and that's the idea behind this move. For now Kasparov decided to play knight b7, attacking this bishop. You simply want to take away this bishop pair because they are really strong and they're really controlling pretty much all of the board, so you don't want them anywhere near you, and if possible you need to trade them. Of course Karpov sees this and he doesn't want to trade. He plays bishop f2, and after bishop e7, finally developing his bishop, knight c2 was played for white with a simple idea, because Karpov now wants to protect this pawn here. It was attacked by this Garry's bishop, and after this move bishop d5 was played for Garry Kasparov. Right now bishops are always stronger in the center of the board. With this bishop you are also protecting this piece as well, and it is needed in this position because white is a little bit infiltrated in the black's last ranks here. So after this the game continued with rook d1. Again, a pretty normal move. You're attacking the loose piece here. And now Kasparov needs to make a decision what he will do. For now he plays bishop b3, attacks this knight and pins this rook as well. So after this now Karpov plays a really nice move. He plays rook d7. For now looks like this is sacrificed, and Kasparov replied with rook d8. I will now show you what would happen if, for example, you decided to pick up this on c2 with your bishop. Then the game would continue with rook picking up rook, and of course you will pick up the rook, and after that rook will pick up on e7. As you can see, your knight is here weak, your pawns are weak. For example, the game could have continued with a bishop d6, and after bishop d7 pressuring this pawn, you have to return your bishop and to try and save this pawn. But after bishop c5 the position is slightly collapsing for black, because these two bishops are simply too strong and there is nothing you can do and stop the advancement of the black pawns and the black initiative here. So that is the reason why picking up this knight was not good. And after rook d7 rook d8 was played for Garry to cause a trade, of course, because with less pieces it will be a little easier to play. And now Karpov finds another great move in this position. Again, a beautiful rook takes on e6 here. You are forced to take this rook, because if you decide to pick up with this rook, again, this would not be good because you will simply lose your piece. That's obvious. So after rook picking up on e6, you are forced to pick up with your rook, and then the game continued with rook e1, simply removing your rook from this threat. And now this rook is hanging, so Kasparov needs to find a better way for his rook. Rook c7 was played, and the last move of the game, which sealed this game, was bishop b6. As you can see, this bishop pair is too strong and Garry cannot do anything, unfortunately. So for example, if you decide to go with picking up this, which is actually the best variation by the computer, if you decide to pick up this knight, then bishop will pick on c7. You will pick up this pawn, and after rook e8, bishop f8 and bishop c6, this is a clear piece up, and Karpov will just win this game easily. The situation is really clear. There's no free pawns for black, something like on b3 or b2, then he can try and maybe play for something. This is a clear position and there is nothing you can do. So that is the reason why after bishop b6 Garry Kasparov resigned. If you go, for example, like rook c8, then we will simply pick up your piece, and after you pick up our knight, we will pick up your knight, and again a clear piece up and a pawn up, and there is nothing you can do, especially playing in a world championship match. and in a game against a player, a caliber of a player like, of course, Anatoly Karpov is. And this is how this game ended, and this is all I prepared for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and share the video, because it helps me a lot. Also, give me your ideas. What would you like to see next? Maybe some cool games I don't know. Please leave them. I read all of your comments and I read your suggestions. So, and yeah, this was all. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.